So now let's go to the communication. So communication is one of the key. Anywhere we work, either the low-paying job, high-paying job, company CEO, or the VP, or the chairman, whatever. So can you provide just example of complex technical concept you had to explain to the non-technical or the stakeholders, and how did you like the ensure it is understood? What I mean, like this question is, when you communicate with a manager, it's a different tone. When you communicate with the developer, it's a different tone. When you communicate with the other manager, it's a different tone. That's the question is asked.
Yeah.
But you need to ensure your communication has been understood by the audience that you are trying to address it.
Right. Like communication, like when you say communication, it can be verbal, it can be like, written. Like say for written communication, for our team, especially for our team, we communicate through Slack, right? So we have channels, we have different channels. Like, okay, for this reason, like say for my DevOps related issue, we have DevOps channels. For the coding related issue, we have like another like dev channels. And then for any other, like, we have also a channel that we communicate with customer service as well. We also have like customer service channel. So, when you type or write a communication or write something or write message, make sure that you write it to correct audience. It is important to know who is your audience, right? If you are sending it to customer service, you have to write it very carefully, because everybody is in there. Maybe the CEO of the company is there in that channel, right? So understand what they're asking, right? Okay, you don't like respond right away. Okay, you may not know the things that they're asking. Try to understand what they are asking, what their question is. If you don't understand or if you don't know something, you can ask your manager separately. You may have a separate channel to your manager, or you may have one-to-one message, Slack message channel to your manager. You can ask that, okay, Mr. X, that I didn't get the question, can you please clarify? You can ask him first before sending, 50 people, like, okay, I didn't get the question, right? Don't do this. Try to get the clarification from someone who knows better than you, like maybe your managers, right? And for email communication, I'll give you an example. In email communication, we are getting email notification every single day that someone is getting promoted for this, and in that email list you will see that maybe 100 people, maybe 1,000 people. So don't reply, just reply to all, because if one person is promoting, you should congratulate that one person, not everybody, right? So when you reply something like this, you reply to that one person. Instead of just hitting the reply to all button, just click the reply to one person, so that one person get congratulated, not 50 people, not 100 people. So that is important. Try to understand what is the subject matter, what is the body of your message, what they're asking. And when you reply, and try to understand who will be your audience. Do we need to let all 50 people know about your response? If it is yes, you have to reply to all. But do you need to reply to only 1 or 2%? Then only select that on 1 or 2%. And for if you don't understand anything, like I said, that you need clarification, you can ask someone. If it is a developer from your team, you can ask him one-to-one that, hey, I didn't get this, can you please clarify, or what is that they're asking, or something like that, because you may have a good relationship with the developers. So I think that's it. I think understanding the message and then replying based on that, and also the target audience, like who will be your target audience to your reply.
Yep. So to summarize, he has said accurately, do not respond too quickly, read and understand. Again, understand is first read and then understand before you respond. Your respond is not immediate required, because it is not, because you don't know it, you don't need to respond. And then of course the reply all is a crazy button in the email communication. So you need to think 100 times before you hit the reply button, because as he mentioned that this happens throughout the day in the company, when someone got promoted, when some good news is coming, some big release happened, right? The app went live, and hundreds of emails coming. Of of course, you need to know the email, the filtering. We teach you guys the down the path. But this is very important, the communication in the Slack or email communication, and make sure you're writing and highlighting who you are actually, what you're trying to convey. Okay, and one thing I can say, if you're in an email communication, after 2 or 3, do not respond anymore. Stop right there and set up a meeting. Because email communication can be great. Also, email communication can one of the most messiest things, because people understand different what you're trying to say. And the back and forth responding, instead of you're trying to fixing something, it actually creates the more noise, means more confusion. So after 2, 3 emails, stop that, just set up a meeting. Hey, I want to set up a meeting with you so that we can clarify better. That's the way you actually handle this. Why you are telling all of this? Because this is part of your core job. This is not your job. It's a part of your day-to-day, and most of the time, that's what you do.
Yes, exactly, Shivlu. I just want to add one more thing, like the Shivlu said. You know, like some things, like when some issue like going on like in the email, someone is replying and then you reply and then again someone is replying. So instead of doing this, like Shivlu said, this happens in our like daily stand up, like, you know, like developer has some issue and then maybe he's talking to other developers. Then what we do, we said, okay, let's do this off the meeting, because the meeting is only for daily stand up, not discussing other issues. So we try to take it off from the meeting, and then we try to discuss in separate meeting.
Yeah. So it means the project manager will always stop you. If you go to a meeting for agenda A, if you are trying to attempt even talk agenda B, if it is less than 1 minute, your project manager will say, well, stop there. You gotta get another meeting. Let's set up another meeting to
Right.
discuss, because my agenda is the highly important here. So that's the reason when you go somewhere else, we speak to the point, to the agenda. So this is also another important part. And again, the instead of on and on, you just set up the meeting. That's the best way of handling email communication or any type of communication.